and went downstairs, we hope, so that you have at least 5 minutes of peace.
Yep, have a toddler at home sick for the 15th time.
Oh my God.
So,
I know
yeah.
it's such a tough moment in history. It really is. Like it's just a whole different ball game. But okay, anyway, we wanted to talk today about Liaise for interior design, of course, because this is something that I believe is really beneficial to all designers and industry partners. But first, I want to talk a little bit about your journey of where you started and where you are today, because I think there are conversations. Well, I know there are conversations I have every day with designers who say, I love design, but I know I'm meant for something more. And it reminds me so much of you when you first came to me. And like, so I just wanted to like give those people who are watching that thought of what they're doing today could end up being what they stay doing and they love it forever, or they may want to morph and change into something different. And you did that. So I wanted to talk about that today.
Yeah, so I've actually wanted to be a designer since, architectural designer since I think I was in the 4th or 5th grade.
Wow.
Yeah, and I actually remember starting a essay or like a report in 7th grade, and I was looking at all these like super detailed construction drawings and stuff like that, and I was like, whoop, never mind, I can't do that. And it's just kind of ironic because then I was like, all right, I'm going to be a history teacher, right? And my parents really pushed me towards the architecture and the design side of things. They're like, this is what your calling is. This is what you need to do. So I went to
know that. I love when
my
people
mom.
do that. I don't know. I was never that kind of parent. I'm like, I don't know what you're meant to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess my mom said that she could go into any one of my classes growing up. It could be pre-K, and she could tell which artwork was mine because it was always like hyper detailed.
Interesting.
She said she didn't even need to see the name. She knew which artwork was mine. So I started taking
like mine, which was like scribbles, you know.
Oh no, I was taking adult level like watercolor art classes when I was in 7th and 8th grade.
Wow.
Yeah, so the design definitely it runs through my blood too. I've got cousins that are on all reaches of the different design industries. So, but that being said, I ended up going to SCAD, or Savannah College of Art and Design, for architecture. And ironically, one of the reasons that I was going to double major in architecture and historic preservation. And I ended up deciding on just architecture because it was just a lot. It's hard to be in a 5-year program and then add another major on top of that when you already are in a pretty, tough program. And so then I graduated, and, graduating during the recession was definitely interesting in and of itself. And I eventually landed a position at an architecture firm in Saratoga, where I learned a ton. I did all of their renderings. It was mostly hand renderings, but I did a lot of digital media and 3D renderings and whatnot. And then I met my husband, who was an Army officer. He moved me to Oklahoma and then Texas, where I started working at a design build firm.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I was introduced to chief architect, where I did a lot of grumbling for about a year because I was used to Revit. And eventually I decided to go out on my own after doing a virtual addition and renovation design when I was in Texas. It was for friends that were up here in Michigan. So other than going up there and doing all of the takeoffs myself, it was all completely virtual.
Wow.
And it made me realize that I can do a lot on my own, especially because I had our friends who had hired me. They were going through the bidding process with a bunch of contractors, and the contractors didn't believe that a 30-year-old did all the drawings because they looked like someone far more established had, because I worked for a very graphic heavy firm. So from there, I started my own business, and about 6 months in, I booked a session with you, And you did an amazing job at selling your services.
Thank you so much. That's
Yes.
what I love to teach.
And then from there, you helped kind of coach and mentor me and steer me in what has now evolved from being a designer to being, I wanted to be an interior designer despite my architectural background, and I had no idea about furnishings, anything like that. I was literally like, well, let's go to Bassett and let's pick out like, Krypton or something that should wear well. Like, and
Right.
that's in my mind, right?
Right.
And I remember you saying that's not your strong suit. Like, why are you pushing what you're good, like pushing against what you're good at?
Yeah, you were resistant of leaning into what you were good at because you weren't sure you could make a business from it.
Right. Yeah.
And that's really like, that was the turning point. It was like, you can make, and anyone who's listening live or on replay, you can make a business out of almost anything you're good at or passionate about if you know how to do it the right way. So that's why I love watching your journey. It has literally been making a left turn, making a right turn, but you're focused, and that's really the key, knowing that you are going to achieve everything that you take on. So you went from thinking you wanted to be a full-blown interior designer,
right,
to kind of realizing the renderings were your superpower.
Right. It was the renderings, and now it's the architectural side of things. It's that, and that's a lot of where the name Liaise came from, is because I'm kind of that liaison now for many interior designers between the interior designer and the architect or contractor.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of interior designers out there who don't have necessarily that formal training in construction or renovation or kitchen design or anything like that, but they're interested in taking that on. And that's in many cases where I've come into play, right? There are a lot of people doing renderings now. And I think the big key in this world where renderings are now are far easier to come by is, what is your niche within that field, right? So how are you going to stand apart when everyone else and their mother is now doing something? It's very different than almost 4 years ago when we started working together.
So
sorry,
different.
I do have my son at home.
I hear that. That's okay. The joys of working from home. And now we're getting, internet issues. All right. Hopefully Kelly comes back to us. But I have to tell you, Kelly's renderings are really photorealistic. And I think she's going to go out and come back in. The photorealistic renderings make such a huge difference. But then you add on top of it her knowledge and her architectural training. And it takes it to another whole level where she's actually mentoring the designers who take on new construction for the very first time, or second or third or fourth time, and they want to know what they should be looking for, what they should be considering. So she's teaching them at the same time. Oh, now we're completely blank. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, hopefully she's coming back. She's actually training at the same time so that the knowledge of the designer is going up to another whole level. And I used to do the same thing as an art consultant. People would hire me as an art consultant, and then as I'm selecting artwork and framing, I'm describing why I'm doing what I'm doing and how I'm doing what I'm doing. And that is training then the person I'm working with. So Kelly did the same thing. Oh, her internet is completely down. I just got a text. So let's get her out of here. Oops, there we go. Okay. So that, it's so funny that happened to me yesterday. You literally, was it yesterday? Yeah, I was on a session with a client and my whole house went dark and everything went down. So let me go further to, I want all of you to check out Liaise for Interior Design. It is liaiseforinteriordesign.com. I can go back and put it in the comments because that is the latest undertaking that Kelly has taken on. And it's an unbelievable directory of service providers, that interior designers need to run their business. So it's growing, it's brand new. Get in at the beginning, because that's always the smartest place to get into anyone who's starting something new. So go check out liaiseforinteriordesign.com and see if it feels right for you as you grow your interior design business, or if you're an industry partner that wants more exposure. This is sort of like a, I don't know, I may be calling it wrong as saying it's like a matchmaking for exactly what needs you have as you grow your interior design business. Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate that. Liaiseforinteriordesign.com. And Virtual Design Mentor, which Jackie just put in. Let me put that up on the screen, each of them. So the directory and the categories in the Liaise database are all services you need to continue to grow your interior design business. So when I'm coaching people, they often say, like, what should I hire next? And where should I go to hire, right? This is where you go to hire people. This is where you go to get vetted, in some cases vetted people, so that you will know that who you're hiring actually has the skill that you need. So go check out Kelly at the Virtual Design Mentor and her team. And also Liaise for Interior Design is I call it, she might correct me later, but it's like, to me, it's like a matchmaking type service for service providers that help you grow your business. So go check it out. We will have Kelly on again since she got knocked out from the high winds they're having where she lives. Go have a great Thursday. I cannot believe it's Thursday. I'm in that state. I woke up thinking, I can't believe it's Thursday and that Christmas is next weekend. It's crazy. So hopefully you're all enjoying this holiday season and not working too hard, wrapping up loose ends for your clients. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye, everyone.